Well, good morning, everybody, in Western Australia, that is, and good afternoon to everyone in the eastern states. My name's Fletcher, and I'm the CEO and Managing Director of Ravenswood Gold. Great pleasure to have this opportunity to speak to you today. I guess really to talk about exciting new company and exciting new project. So I'll step you through. One sec. Having a bit of trouble with the presentation, sorry. Okay. First of all, a little bit about the company. So Ravenswood Gold is basically a brand new company formed really early this year with two very strong parents. So Ravenswood Gold is a joint venture, 50-50, between EMR Capital, which I'm assuming most people will be very familiar with. So EMR Capital, a large private equity business headquartered in Melbourne and also in Hong Kong, has a number of global mining assets, 4 operations now in Australia, and Ravenswood Gold is actually the third operating asset that EMR has acquired, located in Queensland. The other owner is a company called Golden Energy and Resources, otherwise known as GEAR, who are a Singaporean listed company, but have significant coal assets and other mining operations in Indonesia, and have recently taken control of the Stanmore coal operation here in Queensland as well, and has some other gold interests in Australia. We believe that gives us a pretty strong parentage, so very strong background, very focused parents looking to, I guess, take this project forward. So the project itself is really about developing a very large-scale Australian gold opportunity. What we're really looking to do with Ravenswood is to take the existing operation and to expand it through processing and mining up to a total of something greater than 7 or around 8 million tonnes per annum. And we would be expecting to produce somewhere in the vicinity of 200 to 250 ounces of gold for greater than a 10-year period. We've got a substantial resource base with a huge amount of exploration potential. We currently have a very large mining inventory of over 2.7 million ounces of gold. And we would be expecting to process that at a grade of greater than 1 gram per tonne post-beneficiation. There's a significant number of exploration targets very proximal to the mine and in the surrounding areas, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And I guess overall we believe that we're in a really low-risk brownfield development environment. We've got currently an operating processing plant. We're located very close to the township of Ravenswood and Charters Towers, and we're about an hour and a half out of Townsville. It's a fantastic place to be operating a mine, and we're well serviced by all facilities. The asset itself is we're currently in the process of transitioning to a large-scale open pit operation using a brand new large-scale mobile fleet. Processing-wise, it's a very straightforward carbon-in-leach process, and the mine life we're currently looking at is somewhere in excess of 10 years, and at the moment we believe that we've probably got at least 15 years worth of material that we'll be able to process. Mining inventory stands at about 2.7 million ounces, and with the open pit mining, we expect that the life of mine strip ratio will be somewhere around the 2.2 level. With the ramp up that we're currently focusing on, we would hope to have that completed by 2020. I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. And as I said before, our steady state production would be somewhere north of 200,000 ounces a year for that 10 to 15 year period, making it a very significant producer of gold. Our focus, apart from being large scale, is also to target low cost, and we believe that we can get that through scale, and we would be looking to drive our all-in sustaining costs down to around about $900 US an ounce. And the big part was obviously the expansion of the processing plant to get us up to that 7 million tonne plus per annum amount from very early on in 2020. As I said before, infrastructure is fantastic for the site. We're connected to the grid. We've got secure water. We've got access to, to Charters Towers, Townsville, Home Hill Air. So it's a very well, supported, part of the world. In fundamentally what's a great gold mining district. The other big part of the project, of course, is the construction of a new tailings dam facility. And I've got a few slides on that coming up. And all of those components, I guess, make for what we think is going to be a pretty exciting expansion of the business. So some of the key milestones for us, as I said before, it's a very, very new company. Ravenswood Gold was really only created in, around January this year, around the time of the announcement. So at that time, EMR and Gear, jointly announced that they would be forming a joint venture and purchasing the Ravenswood asset from Resolute. And that transaction actually only occurred on the 1st of April, so it hasn't been a very, very long period of time. In that time, though, we've put a management team in place. We've transferred 100% of all employees across to us. We started work on the Bucks Reef mining inventory, which we believe we've already upgraded by about 18%. Process plant expansion is well underway. Tailings dam facility, so we've awarded the contract for the design of the tailings dam. And the basis of the design has now been complete, and we're looking to build something that will have around about 100 million tonnes of capacity. On the exploration side, as I said, Bucks Reef West resource is completed. We're working on the Sarsfield Nolans now. And I'll show a couple of slides about the exploration potential that we've got going forward in just a minute. So just by way of a quick overview, as you can see on your screen there, the blue pit shell there on the left-hand side of the screen is the Bucks Reef pit, which we'll be mining first. And on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the very large-scale Sarsfield Nolans open pit, which is our second open pit. So overall, we expect that mining there will take us through for some, for some 15 years. Processing plant expansion, we've got that highlighted there. That's building a large-scale plant, something that can crush up to 14-15 million tonnes per annum, putting in additional leach tanks, building a new reclaim, a whole raft of processes there, and the tailings dam storage area, as you can see in that lower picture there. It's got a footprint of around about 168 hectares, so it's an enormous structure. Work has also commenced on that facility. From an exploration point of view, there's probably too many targets to talk to in a very short period of time. We're currently infill drilling or grade control drilling the Bucks Reef pit at the moment. We're about to start a program to upgrade the resource, which is predominantly indicated at the moment, but we want to upgrade all of the inferred material. We've designed a series of 11 step-out holes around both of those pits, which we'll be drilling in the next 6 months. And as you can see from that very brief cross-section there, we still believe there's a huge amount of potential in the project. We'll be drilling down to about 300 or 400 metres, very proximal to the pit, and obviously very proximal to the processing plant. In the greater region, of course, the whole Charters Towers, Ravenswood area is littered with historic mining deposits. I guess our plan here is to complete a detailed review of the regional targets and recommence, and we've already commenced that work, and we expect to have that completed by December. We'll be rolling out a pretty extensive exploration program over the next couple of years that's well supported by both of our owners. Even though the district's considered to be mature, we still believe there's an enormous amount of exploration upside, huge amounts of untested soil anomalies, rock anomalies. And as you can see, we hold a pretty substantial exploration package, something in the order of around about 2,000 square kilometres of exploration tenements. And if you can't quite see on that picture there, the Ravenswood processing plant sits right in the middle of that area. We just think that's going to, we're going to continue to grow that resource base for many, many times. And I'll just close out by saying, we're focused on our community, and we've got great things ahead of us. And so I thank you very much for your time, and hopefully you can get involved in our project.